We're going to touch on MLA format, comma usage, semicolon rules, run-on sentences, inserting quotes. Alright, so this is MLA format, and you're going to want to start with your last name and the page number, and you're going to want to do the page number option instead of just typing it in. And this is the running header. This is the MLA header, and you're going to, when you do this, you can just go by the no teacher can dance, and that's a little saying for your name, teacher, course, and date. And when you do the date, it's the due date of the paper, and it's going to go number, month spelled out, and then year, which is also in numbers. The whole paper is double-spaced, 12-point Times New Roman font, and you want to make sure that after the paragraphs there's no extra spaces, and then the title is centered. On the works cited page, you want to make sure that your citations are in a hanging indent and are in alphabetical order of the first letter of your citations. And works cited, like the title, is also going to be centered in the same font as the rest of the paper. So here's a paper, an example paper with a lot of MLA mistakes. So first off, this is not the page number. This is if you type in 1, it'll show up on the next page as well as 1, even though this is page 2. So, on the MLA header, you need to put your full name, and then you need to put your teacher's last name, and then you need to be more specific about your course, like English 10 honors, not just English. And then on the due date, the month needs to be written out, and it needs to start with the number of the day that it's due. So say, for example, 22 January 2018 is how it would be done properly. Also, the title should not be bolded or in a larger size font. And here are some of the rules for commas and their usage. First off would be to separate items in a list as put after bread and eggs, and in the erroneous example the commas are absent. Another use would be to put before coordinating conjunctions when joining two independent clauses when creating a compound sentence. So the comma is placed after mouse and before but in the erroneous example the comma is absent. Another use would be to separate adjectives that equally modify a noun, such as the long, comma, tedious essay. So when inserting a quote, you're going to start the sentence with a lead-in, and then use a comma or a colon, and then insert your quote. And at the end quote, you're going to not use punctuation unless it is an exclamation mark or a question mark, and then put the end quote, and then parentheses with the author's last name and the page number which the quote came from, and then a period after the parentheses. And so you can see in the examples, it goes, "In of mice and men, Lenny asked, comma, do I still get to tend the rabbits?" And then there's a question mark, so it's put in there. And then there's a parentheses with the author's last name and the page number, and then the period comes after the parentheses. In the error example, there is no comma after the lead-in, and then in the parentheses it uses the author's first name and puts a comma after it. This is incorrect. Semicolons are used to join two related independent clauses, and so rather than using a comma and conjunction, you just insert a semicolon. And so in the correct example it says you should stop eating so much food, and then a semicolon, you will have to go on a diet. And then in the erroneous example, the second, or the part after the semicolon is not actually an independent clause, it is actually a fragment. A run-on sentence is a sentence that has two or more independent clauses not joined properly by a conjunction and or proper punctuation. So in the erroneous example it says Murray takes the bus to school, Mom takes the car, and there's two independent clauses there, and they are not joined by anything correctly.